or reverse and a stop and reverse order, and I'm going to start doing that right now. Where I bought or where I put my stop, I'm going to put my entry order to sell. Then I'm going to put my limit right before this line. Then I'm going to put my stop right where I bought. So if you look at it, this is kind of like a square pattern. Let me show you this. So where I bought and where my stop is, that's the complete reverse. Where I put my market order to buy and my market order stop, that's where I put my entry order to sell. Where I put my entry order stop is where I bought. And these lines simply guide me where I should get out from here. Okay? Now, let's talk about scenarios. If I were to make it limit 1, I would buy somewhere at about the 0.7990 area, and I would limit out around 0.8020, 8030 area. So that's about 40 pips. That's not bad. If I hit limit 2, that's about 100 pips, if I'm not mistaken, or 60 pips. Sorry, I can't see my screen exactly. Now, if I were to lose some money, so if I bought here at 0.7990, I'm assuming, and I got stopped out about 0.7950, I would lose 40 pips here. But I would now make it back by entering again by selling at 0.7950 and getting out at 0.7930. So my total loss would now be only 20 pips compared to the original 40 pips, right? But let's see what happens. I don't think I'm going to get stopped out here. So hold on. And let me move this as if we were trading it today. So as you can see, in the next few hours, limit 1 was hit. Now, what do you do when you hit limit 1? Simple. Start removing your entry orders because that is no longer needed. That's number 1. Then the second is you move your stop to where you bought. This is out with a profit, and so you're now risk-free. So that is basically how you implement that. That's case study number 1. Okay, so let me bring back everyone else. Okay, so, I have a question here. How often have you used this technique? What is your success or failure rate? Well, as I mentioned, thanks for asking that, Jay. This technique is not used every day. I use this technique when the markets do not correct. So if the markets are not correcting, then don't use this. I mean, if the markets are correcting, yeah, just use the normal way that I taught you. But we're in extraordinary times, so we will be using this. Success rate for using this, let me tell you, out of 10 trades, you would make 8 out of 10. 2 of them would be, a fluke, where you'd get stopped out twice. But 8 out of 10 times, based on my experience, it works. And it works extremely well. This is also because the markets are, when the fundamentals are with the markets and the markets just want to make money, they just pour the money in. They don't care if the markets are correcting or not, or if the charts are correcting or not. And because of the momentum, we'll now be able to trade. But simply because we don't know if and when the market will start to reverse, that is why we put this technique. So I hope I answered your question, Jay. So don't use this technique all the time. Use it when certain situations happen. I tackled that a while ago. I hope you remember that. Okay, are there any more questions? Okay, how do I come up with the limits? Thank you for that, Elmer. It's very simple. Let me show you here. A while ago in my example, I just put the limits, right? So let me show you how to put your limits properly. Let me find another scenario here. Hold on. Let me get a nice area where I can now, hold on, let me move this so I don't have to label again. Okay, let's assume here. Okay. Now this is not the ideal scenario. Okay, I'm waiting for my chart to update. Hold on. I'm going to update my chart. Okay, let's say this is your ideal scenario. This is not. This is the scenario you're faced with. Let's say you want to buy here, right? So let's say you bought here. I'm going to now put my support line over here. I'm going to put my stop 10 pips below there. And then I'm going to put my limit 1. Just going to label that. Okay. Before I label that, here's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at this to the back, right? This is the peak. If you can see this, let me highlight this first. This was the highest point it has been previous to this bounce. And before this, the higher point would be here. So to determine your limits, all you have to do is, hold on. Sorry. I'm going to draw my horizontal lines. I'm going to put one here and then another one here to show me that if the price moves up all the way here, I want to get out. But if it proceeds up, then I may want to get out over here. So I'm going to label it accordingly. I'm going to put this as my limit 1, and then this will be my limit 2. So my basis for placing limits, limit 1 and limit 2, is the previous highs of the trend. That way, I basically know that if I get out, I want to get out before I hit this line, which is resistance. And then if it proceeds further, then I want to get out limit 2. So let me show you that this technique basically works very well. Limit 1 is hit. Put my stop to break even. And then limit 2 will get hit eventually. So to answer your question, you put your limits where you see the previous resistances, and that is as simple as it gets. And all we have done is do the lines. Okay, I have another question here. What's the tick chart to use in MTT to plot the charts? Okay, the tick means seconds. So first of all, we don't use second charts. So the time frame that we use is the hourly charts. Okay, remember this. Hourly charts. We only used the daily charts a while ago to determine if it's time for us to use this technique. But we plot it and we execute it on the hourly charts. Okay, so I hope you answer that. Okay, someone asked, how about estimating stops? Okay, how do you estimate your stops? Simply put, we're going to do another scenario. And I'm going to show you how to do it again. One more. We're going to do another dry run. This time, I know it's not, we're not going to use euro dollar today in this scenario, but I'm going to go share with you something that happened a while back in euro dollar territory so that you can see exactly where you're going to estimate your stops, right? Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to get to your question, Pierre. I'm just going to finish this. So I'm going to go draw my line. Okay, so let's say this is what you're faced with. This is a scenario. Let me backtrack that some more. Okay. I'm going to go draw my line starting from here to there. Okay. Okay. So let me fatten this up a bit. Okay. So at this point,